Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today on Little Italy of Los Angeles. I'm your host, Deborah Zara Kobylt. Well, do you love camping and do you love Italy? Then my host is someone that you really need to hear about, Barbara Locci. Thank you so much for joining us, Barbara.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for the opportunity.
You are the owner and founder of Sardinia Ranch, which is a 28-acre beautiful place down near San Diego. That's a retreat, really, that hipcamp.com has called, one of the most relaxing places to visit. So let's talk to you a little bit about your ranch and why you decided to open this place, because you are originally, of course, from the island of Sardinia, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
So I was born in Italy. I was born in the island of Sardegna. And a few years ago, I decided to purchase some land and a house in the countryside in San Diego County. The reason why I did this was because it's been a dream of mine for a long time to kind of recreate the same type of life I had when I was back in Italy. And so I decided with my kids to purchase this place and kind of make it a little Sardegna island in California. And
Wow.
so with my friends, I have a lot of friends who are from Sardinia who live in California, some in LA, some in San Diego, of course. And we just, we started getting together and planting things that we are so used to cultivate in Italy. And it just became a place for us to get together and to enjoy our culture again here. And so I thought,
Wow.
why not share it with Californians? Why not share it with Americans, with people from Mexico that come from south of the border? And so I decided to recreate the same type of environment that I was used to in my own country.
Let's talk about your own country. So you're from Sardinia. What was it like growing up for you? And tell me a little bit about that, what you love most about it, what you decided to bring here from your
Yes.
childhood.
Yeah. So I grew up in a smaller city in the south east west of the island. So my town is Iglesias, which is in the Cagliari province.
Mm.
Most people where I come from have an apartment in town and then some land outside of town. And
Ah,
so that's how I grew up. We used to make wine with my grandpa. And then my parents purchased their own place and they used to make wine and olive oil. They still make olive oil to this day. So I grew up in an environment where we always escaped in the countryside and cultivated, fruits, veggies, and we also had some animals as well. And so growing up that way, you kind of want to recreate it for your own children. And my kids, when we go to Italy, we always love to spend time at my parents' house. And, we really missed that side of things, getting outside and being able to have so much space for yourself. And so we decided to do that here. And growing up, my mom used to make bread and we used to make cookies, and for the holidays, everybody used to get together. When I was a teenager, maybe I wasn't very happy about spending all morning making bread,
I
but
remember.
now, yeah, but now I really, really appreciate it. And there are some things that we make even with my friends that it's like, oh my gosh, it's like being back home,
It's
and
so
so
true. Go ahead.
and so I built with a friend, I built a pizza oven, a firewood oven. And so that became kind of the start of the show here because we cook, inside the house, we cook outside, but the pizza oven is what really brings everybody together.
So what brought you to California in the first place? And were your kids born here or were they born there? I mean, how did you end up here and then recreating what you had here?
Yeah, originally I came as an exchange student a few times when I
Ah.
was in high school and then during college. And I met my ex-husband back then. And then he came to Italy he came to Europe for work, and then he came down to Italy on vacation to visit, and we fell in love. And one thing led to another. One of us had to move, at one point, and so we decided it would be me because he already had his job and he didn't speak Italian. And so I moved here and we got married, and we had 2 kids. We're now divorced, but we're in good terms. So that's a good thing. And
That's a great
we
thing,
all,
yeah.
yeah, and he's very happy, that I moved here. And it's a little far from San Diego. It's about an hour away from downtown.
Mhm.
But there is no comparison to living in nature. You're immersed in nature.
Describe for me what it's like, and how did you even happen upon this 28 acres? It's a lot of land to purchase. Were you looking for it, or you stumbled upon it? How did that happen?
I definitely stumbled upon it.
Ah.
So so I was looking for a place. I was looking for a smaller place for about 10 acres. We have a horse that we board in Bonita. It's an off-track thoroughbred that my daughter rides. So my idea was to eventually bring the horse to my place so that she could ride and take lessons at home. Uh,
Hmm.
but I wasn't able to secure a place in Hamul. That's where I was looking at. Uh, and then one day, just going through all the listings, I found this place. And what caught my attention was really the beauty of it. First of all, there is a creek that runs through it, the Potrero Creek. And the other thing was that it's completely off the grid. So I have a well, I have a septic tank, and I am off the power grid as well because I have solar and batteries. And sustainability has always been, part of my life. My day job is sustainability, and so that is one of the things that definitely drew me to this place, because now I am my own power company, my own water company, and
Wow.
I get to experiment with things. I get to suffer sometimes.
I'll
uh,
bet. You're
it's
probably your own everything, right? Do you grow your own vegetables, and like how does that work? Because I know
I
that you really
do.
liked. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I did last year. I did a great job. This year, I started late, and I'm going on vacation. Some things happen, and the drought is very bad this year. Uh, so I just have a few plants, but definitely next April, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to go full force like I did last year.
Because I know when people visit you, you like to sort of talk to them about best practices with cooking, the way many Italians will do it with their olives and olive oil and vegetables in particular, and with pizzas. And you sort of people when they stay there, they ask you on advice, right, for cooking the Italian way. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. One thing I have to say is I can't cook really for people that come here because I don't have, a restaurant license, for example.
Right.
Uh, but when they bring their own ingredients, I do help them. And sometimes we all make pizza together and we have fun together, drinking and talking. It's great. But I do try as much as I can to let them know, like, this is how we do things, where I'm from. And this is what I try to also implement at my ranch, which is organic foods, making sure I always use olive oil. These are my herbs, you can use my herbs. They can pull them and use
Mm.
them to, cook for themselves here. And same thing, with energy, water consumption. I always try to let them know, this place is off the grid. And uh, I do it like ultimately that is my goal, to have a place where people can come, can learn, maybe even help me out if they want to learn something like beekeeping, for example, or cultivate veggies. I would love, my dream is actually to make this place more of a vibrant, vibrant place for people to learn and to communicate with each other, teach each other. If there are other experts that want to come here and kind of like use my land, even to learn and to teach.
So you have bees there, right? You make your own honey,
Mm-hmm.
which is incredible. I'd like to hear a little bit about that. Can you tell us?
Yes, I started last year. I have somebody who trains me on beekeeping. He's a wonderful man. He's been in the business for 45, 50 years. Uh, we traded. So what we did was he brought his bees here, about 40 or 50 hives, and he just set them in my field. And then as an exchange, he taught me how to beekeep. And so
Wow.
it's been wonderful. And he stops by, we check on the bees together. He shows me things that I can do. And it's amazing. It's an amazing partnership.
Wow. So you've got that going. Have you ever taught any of the people about how to make honey and beekeeping? People who come and stay there or no?
Mm, I talked to them about it.
Mm,
I haven't, not hands on, not yet. Some people
mm.
may be allergic, there are things, it's not super easy in California to do things like that.
No, it's really not. I think nothing's really that easy in California. It's so much different here. In fact, I was thinking as you were talking to me about your childhood and about how kids often grow up here, it really is so different. And I often wonder, why does it have to be so different? Somewhere along the line, our village got lost
Yes,
right? In the US a
yes,
little bit. And I believe through your ranch, you're trying to establish that again. It's like, well, here's what my village was like. Come join my village. Is that right? Or come at least learn a little bit about
yes.
my village, right?
Yeah, exactly. And in an easygoing way, and you go to Mexico and you see the same thing, very easy, to be able to find a family that will teach you things. And if they have a cafe, and you're interested in going to the kitchen, they will allow you to go into the kitchen and see how they do things and prepare things. And so it would be nice if we can have that type of environment here where we can share with each other, our knowledge and our culture and our uses, things that are done differently in different cultures. And that's the beauty of sharing it.
Now, people need to bring their own,
Pizza dough,
pardon, their
the
own
pizza
trailer.
dough, yes.
Right.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
no, no, I'm talking about the place to stay. Like they need to bring their own trailers, their own tents. And if they want to make pizza with you, they need to bring their own supplies just because you're not set up to do that. But
Yes.
you've got a lot of people who come and visit there, right? How many can you accommodate there at the ranch?
The limit is 10 people, but it goes on a case by case basis. If somebody wants to have a family reunion and there are 15, 20 people, I
Ooh,
may be able to accommodate them. And the space, there is the space. When we get together with my friends, usually there is about 25, 30 of us.
yeah. You know who really has given you like glowing reviews? Gary Vitti, right? The former
Yes.
head trainer over at the Lakers. Tell me a little bit about him and his stay there. He loves it.
Oh, Gary and Martha, they're amazing. And if you're watching this, hi guys. And I can't wait to see you again in September. They're coming back. Yeah, he's so easygoing and so helpful, in the way he speaks. And he just makes you feel at ease. And so we definitely hung out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How long
so
do
they're wonderful.
How long do people stay when they come there? Because I know it's very reasonable. If you want to tell us, how much it costs per night, it's so reasonable. It's like, wow, I could stay for a month. Um, but how long do they stay generally when people come? Do they pass through? Do they make it a vacation destination? What are they doing?
Yeah, I get a little bit of everything, but I must say most of the time it's 2 nights. So they will
Hmm.
get here maybe on Friday afternoon and leave on Sunday. And mostly I get families or groups of friends that want to spend time together and make pizza. Definitely the pizza oven is like what a lot of people pick my place for. Um, and we make pizza usually together, or if they want privacy, I just give them privacy. And so usually it's families that stay for a couple of nights. But I do get passerbys, people that are traveling cross country, and they have amazing stories. It's great.
Yeah, and I guess that people sort of collect, right? And get to know one another and get to know you. I mean, it's a ranch in California, but Italian style, really, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about. Apparently, you have this frog on in the pond there or in the creek that's protected.
Yeah.
I read about that. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, it's called the arroyo frog, arroyo toad.
Ah,
And the scientific name is the Buffalo Californicus. It lives here in the Potrero River, and between January and May, um, it just they I guess they all come out, and there is a concert every single night, and so
oh
and they
wow.
start all together, and then they stop all together, and then they start again. It's really amazing. But it is an endangered species, and so we have to be careful. And
Mhm.
so that's another one of the reasons why I talk about sustainability, not using pesticides, no chemicals, making sure that we don't throw any trash around, because we want to protect the wildlife around here.
Right. That's a lot to take care of, 28 acres, especially nowadays with, the heat. How do you do all that?
Yes. It's a lot of work. It's become my gym, I'll tell you
I'll
that.
bet.
Yes, but I get some help. I have somebody in town that comes and helps me sometimes, especially when you have to use a chainsaw, um, things like that are more dangerous. I don't really touch. But there is a lot of fire clearing that needs to be done, and just keeping up, keeping it tidy and clean, and just welcoming people.
Your daughters, you said they love going to visit your family in Italy. Tell me how they feel about living on the ranch there. I mean, they must really feel like you really did bring a piece of Italy with you to the ranch, right?
Yes, my kids love it. I have two teenagers, so sometimes it's hard to get them off their phones, just like everybody else. But they love it here, and they help me as much as possible. My daughter prefers to help me around the house, which is okay. My son is the one who helps me more outside. But then when we all get together, it's fantastic that they also, come out and we do things together, and we go hiking, and we go riding. My son rides his motocross to Tecate Peak, and it's a lot
Wow.
of fun. Yeah.
Wow. So, honestly, for all of those people listening from our Little Italy board, I feel like we should have one of our board meetings down there. How fun would that be? A whole bunch of us
Oh,
coming down
yes.
there. Wouldn't that be fun? Because I know Anna, she absolutely recommended it. She loves going there, said it's so relaxing. That's where she likes to go to sort of relax and chill out and just escape whatever is going on in her life and world and in her mind. That would be sort of a fun retreat, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes. That's a goal of mine, to have a place for events, retreats, corporate retreats, as well as weddings. So I'm
That's your goal.
slowly, slowly going up that way.
Well, it's very
Yes.
entrepreneurial of you to do this by yourself for your kids and for yourself. Has your family come to
Yes.
visit from Italy yet to see your place?
Not to the ranch, not yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty impressive that you've managed to do this. That's not an easy undertaking. And what do you want to tell people who want to come visit there? What's the best time to come and visit, and what do they need to bring? Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Thank you for this question. Well, the best time definitely is the fall and winter and spring.
Hmm.
It is preferable that you come with an RV, for example, because uh, it's you're less exposed to the environment.
Right.
It is kind of like a high desert environment where it gets really cold at night, and then it can get really hot during the day in summertime. So it's better if you have an RV.
Hmm.
But of course, I accommodate tents as well if you're more of a tough camper. um, and what I recommend that they bring, definitely, like, if you want to have the experience of making pizza, if you have never done it, that's a lot of fun. And also, if they want to bring their toys like dirt bikes,
Ooh.
quads. There are trails. There is a trail along the border where they can actually go all the way to Campo.
Oh,
They
wow.
can ride to Tecate Peak, which is 3,000 feet. It's beautiful.
Mm. What
And
about
if
horses? What about horses? Can they bring their own horses if they have a
they
trailer?
they could, yes, they could bring their own horses. The trails are not off my property, so they would have to kind of like cross the road to go on a trail, but
Right.
they can do that as well. And then if they want to explore the town of Tecate in Mexico, which is just 2 miles from here, they can bring, their passports, and I can actually drop them off at the border and pick them up. So I
That
offer
is
that
really
service.
that is so fun. Tell me about that town, please.
Oh, so that's another component of picking this place. The town of Tecate reminds me so much of my town in Italy. There is
Oh.
a square in the middle where all the people get together. They call it the Parque. And also that's where the wine route for the Valle de Guadalupe starts. So
Ah.
and that's another thing, if people want to just sleep here but then go and visit the wine country in Valle de Guadalupe, they can do that. It's just half an hour from here. um, and so it's just such a nice, calm town. It's not so hectic like Tijuana, for example. It's beautiful. I really enjoy going there.
That's something I'll take you up on that. I'll have you drop me off there. That sounds
Oh,
absolutely
I'll go
wonderful.
with you.
Yeah, would you? Oh, that'd be so much fun, Barbara. Gosh, I'm
Yes.
so excited that you came on our podcast. Is there anything you want to tell our listeners and viewers? If they call you, maybe they could get a night at a certain
Yes.
discount,
Yes.
tell me, please.
Yeah, for any listeners to this podcast, I will give 20% off. Just message me and let me know, and we'll adjust the price on the dates that you will book.
Beautiful. And do they book on your website? And what is that? Or do they go to hipcamp.com, which is kind of like the Airbnb of camping, right? Hipcamp.com, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's correct. Yes. So they
Yeah.
can go on hipcamp.com, or you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sardinia Ranch.
Mm,
Um, so you can also do a search on hipcamp and you can book through there. um,
yeah.
but the link is also on my Instagram profile, so that's, I think, the best place to go to.
Yeah, and you have a lovely website as well. Gosh, it was so lovely to talk to you. I look forward to coming down there and meeting with you and crossing over the border because that town sounds just delightful. And I look forward
Yes.
to hiking on on your property because it's 28 acres. That's pretty remarkable. So good for you. Bravo
Yes.
for creating something so beautiful that very much is reminiscent of where you grew up. So Sardinia Ranch and Barbara Locci, I can't thank you enough for joining us on our Little Italy of Los Angeles podcast. So thanks for being here. And everybody, I'm Deborah Zara Kobylt, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Ciao, I ciao. Love our latest
Ciao.
collaboration, Faherty. I'm so obsessed with their products that over the weekend I purchased everything from hats, shorts, sundresses, and even a few shirts for my husband at their Malibu store close to where I live. At Faherty, summer is in their DNA, and everything from their blankets to shorts and tees are beautifully woven organic materials, and that's everything to me. Faherty is about family, and I was so excited to learn that the family who actually started Faherty were from Spring Lake, New Jersey, where I spent so many summers as a kid. And they care about what I care about: simple, top quality clothes for every day, for travel, casual evenings, just the way we live in our family. So please shop FahertyBrand.com and make sure to put in the code DEB20 for your special discount. And happy summer! I just read the most amazing book, and I'd love to recommend it to all of my viewers and listeners. It's called The Lost and Found Bookshop by New York Times bestseller Susan Wiggs, and it's available now on paperback at harpercollins.com. It is perfect as a summer read by the pool, the beach, the lake, or if you're traveling by plane. So here's the premise. Natalie Harper inherits a financially strapped bookshop in San Francisco after her mother dies. She also becomes the caretaker to her grandfather, and it's books that become a welcome retreat for her grief and tough times. People magazine calls the book a feel-good family saga. I call it incredible. In fact, I felt for Natalie and I wanted to know what else she found inside the pages of those books. The Lost and Found Bookshop is about life's ups and downs and how we get through them. Pick it up at harpercollins.com, and remember, tell them Deborah Kobylt sent you. That's the Lost and Found Bookshop.